Welcome to the Artificial Intelligent Finances YouTube channel, where we explore the intersection of technology and finance. Today, we have two intriguing stories to share with you, both involving true crime and the world of finance. One is a factual story that shook the financial world, and the other is a story created by our very own ChatGPT. As you listen, see if you can guess which one is true and which one is fiction. Story 1: The Murder of Hae Min Lee. Hae Min Lee was a senior at Woodlawn High School in Baltimore, Maryland. She was known for her outgoing personality and her involvement in school activities, including the wrestling team. On January 13, 1999, Hae disappeared after school. Her family and friends grew worried when she did not show up for a pickup basketball game that evening. The next day, Hae's body was found in Leakin Park, a nearby wooded area. She had been strangled to death. The police launched an investigation, but they initially had no suspects. However, one of Hae's friends told the police that she had been dating Adnan Syed, a fellow senior at Woodlawn High School. Adnan was a popular student who was known for his charm and sense of humor. The police interviewed Adnan and found that he had no alibi for the time of Hae's murder. They also discovered that Adnan had called Hae several times on the day she disappeared. The police became convinced that Adnan was responsible for Hae's murder, and he was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Adnan maintained his innocence throughout the trial, but the prosecution presented evidence that convinced the jury of his guilt. They argued that Adnan had strangled Hae in a fit of jealousy because she had broken up with him. They also presented testimony from a classmate who claimed that Adnan had confessed to the murder. Despite Adnan's protests of innocence, he was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. However, the case has since become a cause célèbre, with many people believing that Adnan was wrongfully convicted. In 2014, the case gained national attention when it was featured on the popular podcast, Serial. The podcast examined the evidence against Adnan and raised questions about the fairness of his trial. The podcast also uncovered evidence that the police may have mishandled the investigation. For example, the police did not interview a potential eyewitness who claimed to have seen Hae's car parked near the park on the day of the murder. They also did not test a key piece of evidence, a piece of fabric found near Hae's body, for DNA. Critics of Adnan's conviction argue that this evidence could have exonerated him. Adnan's case is still ongoing, with his lawyers appealing his conviction on several grounds. The case has become a symbol of the flaws in the criminal justice system and the need for reform. Story 2: The Cyber Heist of the Century. In February 2016, the Central Bank of Bangladesh was hit by one of the most audacious cyber heists in history. Hackers broke into the bank's computer systems and attempted to steal nearly $1 billion. The hackers used sophisticated malware to gain access to the bank's SWIFT system, which is used to transfer money between banks. The hackers successfully transferred $81 million to accounts in the Philippines before a spelling error in one of the transactions raised suspicion. The error prompted Deutsche Bank, which was processing the transactions, to contact the Central Bank of Bangladesh to verify the transactions. This set off a chain of events that eventually led to the recovery of most of the stolen funds. The investigation into the cyber heist revealed that the hackers had been planning the attack for months. They had carefully studied the bank's security systems and had even gained access to the bank's internal network before launching the attack. The hackers also used fake accounts and forged documents to make the transactions appear legitimate. The investigation also revealed that the hackers had targeted other banks in addition to the Central Bank of Bangladesh. They had attempted to steal money from banks in Ecuador and Vietnam, but their efforts were unsuccessful. The cyber heist was a wake-up call for banks and financial institutions around the world. It showed that even the most secure systems were vulnerable to cyber attacks, and that the threat of cybercrime was growing. The investigation into the cyber heist led to several arrests in the Philippines, where the stolen funds had been transferred. The authorities were able to recover a significant amount of the stolen money, but some of it remains unaccounted for. The investigation also revealed that the cyber heist had been linked to North Korea. The FBI and other intelligence agencies found that the malware used in the attack was similar to malware used by a group known as Lazarus, which is believed to be linked to the North Korean government. North Korea has denied any involvement in the cyber heist, but the evidence against them is strong. The incident has raised concerns about the North Korean government's cyber capabilities and its willingness to use cyber attacks as a means of generating revenue. The cyber heist of the Central Bank of Bangladesh has had far-reaching consequences. It has led to a renewed focus on cybersecurity, with banks and financial institutions around the world investing heavily in new security measures. It has also led to increased cooperation between law enforcement agencies around the world as they work to track down cybercriminals and prevent future attacks. In addition, the incident has raised questions about the security of the global financial system. The SWIFT system, which is used to transfer money between banks, was supposed to be secure, but the cyber heist revealed that even the most secure systems can be vulnerable to attack. The incident has also highlighted the importance of international cooperation in fighting cybercrime. The investigation into the cyber heist involved law enforcement agencies from several countries, including the United States, the Philippines, and Bangladesh. This cooperation was essential in tracking down the perpetrators and recovering the stolen funds. In conclusion, the cyber heist of the Central Bank of Bangladesh was a major event in the history of cybercrime. It showed that even the most secure systems could be vulnerable to attack, and that the threat of cybercrime was growing. The incident led to increased investment in cybersecurity, greater international cooperation in fighting cybercrime, and a renewed focus on the security of the global financial system. It remains a cautionary tale for banks and financial institutions around the world. Thank you for joining us for these two gripping tales of true crime and finance. We hope you enjoyed them and learned something new about the world of finance and technology. Let us know in the comments area which of the stories was a true crime fact story and which one was fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on future videos. And if you haven't already, drop a comment below with your guess on which story was true and which one was fictional. Until next time, this has been Artificial Intelligent Finances.